Hi! In today's video, we're going to be learning how to do a traveling pelvic walk, which looks like this. So this is a great traveling movement to throw into your dances. It's also good for working on balance because it's done on releve. So let's get started. So to do this movement, the main isolation you will need is the pelvic tuck. And we're also later going to be using the pelvic release. So I'll show you from the side. The pelvic tuck is just going to be trying to bring our pelvis up almost into our belly button. So you should feel a contraction right here in your very lower abdominal and pelvic floor muscles to scoop that pelvis in. So let's just practice that. Tuck, 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 tuck. You want to have it nice and sharp. So you want to almost lock the movement when it comes in. So you sort of hold it and then release back to neutral. Maybe a little bit released, but you don't want to release too far. We're going to be doing a release later. The release would be the opposite of the tuck. But for now, let's concentrate on just tucking and back to neutral. Tucking, neutral, tucking, neutral, tucking. Good. And tuck, 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 tuck. Great. So that is the isolation that we use. And then we're simply going to layer it on top of a traveling movement, a very simple traveling movement, which is just going to be a step backwards and a step forwards. And when we step backwards, we're going to step out a little bit. And when we step forwards, we're going to cross in front. But these are small steps. You don't want to be taking big steps here. You're not going to be able to really control the movement if you do big steps. So let's go the other way. So if I'm moving to the left, I'm going to have the left foot back. And if I move to the right, I'm going to have the right foot back. Of course, if you're mirroring me now, you would be moving to the right. So you would take your right foot and step back and then cross front with your left foot. So step, cross front, step, cross front, step, cross front, step. And let's go the other way. Let's take it up into releve. So now you're going to stand on the balls of your feet. Keep that weight in between the first and the second toe, mostly. Legs are parallel for this one. And we're just going to step back, cross front. Step back, cross front. Keep your legs straight here. Activate that core. That will help keep your balance. Good. And again, really, when you cross front, you're almost squeezing your legs in. That's also going to help maintain your balance. And let's stop and go the other way. Back, crossing front, back, crossing front, back, crossing front, back, and switch. We go back, crossing front, back, crossing front, back, crossing front, back, crossing front. Great. So now that we have those two movements, we're going to put them together. So this tuck that we practiced is going to come with the step back right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift the back foot. Again, I'll show you from the side. You're going to lift the back foot just a little bit. And so this knee is bent, the back foot, and then straighten. And as your weight comes back, that's going to help you tuck. And then you would just lift that front foot. So let's just practice that. Tuck and step back front with a neutral pelvis. Tuck, neutral. Tuck, neutral. Tuck, neutral. Tuck, making sure to lift the feet in between your steps, using that coming back to kind of send the energy up from the floor, through the leg, through the pelvis, right into your belly button. Let's try that on the other side. So switch legs, stepping back, again, lifting that foot, bending the knee, and then straightening and tucking. And then stepping forward, coming to a neutral pelvis, tuck, neutral, tuck, neutral, tuck. And tuck, 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 nice and sharp. Remember to lock those muscles in with that tuck. Tuck, forward, tuck, forward, tuck. Great, so now we can do that same thing. We're just going to be traveling with it. So remember, you're always hitting that tuck when you step back. So let's do 5, 6, 7, 8. Tuck, release, 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 and tuck, and switch. Tuck, release, 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 and tuck. Great. One more time. Let's try it. 5, 6, 7, 8. Back, 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 nice and sharp. Good. Back, 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 and back. Other way. Back, 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 and back. Great. So that would be a pelvic tuck with a walk. You can do this move once you've practiced it. You can get it up to speed. You can make it faster and smaller. It's a really fun way to travel around the stage or wherever you're dancing quickly. You can take it in a circle, which is also fun. It's a great move to throw in there. And now let's try the reverse of that. So in this case, we're going to be doing a pelvic release. Yes, let's just do that flat for a second. This is what we talked about a little bit before. Here, it's the opposite of the tuck. You're sort of releasing everything here down. Yeah, and you will have a little curve in your lower spine. You don't want it to be too big. You don't want to strain yourself. But think of kind of stretching the front of your body, your lower body down. Release, release, release. And make sure to always come back in between to that neutral. Release, 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 release. So before the emphasis was on the tuck. Now we're putting the emphasis on the release. And so we are actually now going to release with the forwards part. Yeah, it's pretty hard to release with the back step. It would look very weird. So what we're going to do, and let's, instead of walking to the side, let's just do this first in place, release, release. So forwards, you release and step back. You bring the pelvis to neutral. Release, neutral. Again, in releve here. Release, release, neutral, release, neutral, release. Neutral, let's try the other side. So just switching the feet. Release with the forward step. Come back to neutral with the back step. Release, neutral, release, neutral, release, neutral, release. And release, 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 release. Great. So what we're going to do now, let's walk forward with that. We're going to do 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So stepping forwards, back, forwards on a diagonal. And then we're going to come to the other diagonal. Other foot is going to do forwards, back, forwards. Forwards, back, forwards, forwards, back, forwards. Yeah? Switching diagonals, forwards, back, forwards. And of course, let's add the pelvic release to that. So we're going to release with the front again, release, step back, come back to neutral, and release. And then as we change, we're going to come back to neutral again so that we can prepare to release when we step with the other foot. Coming back to neutral, release, neutral, release, neutral, release, neutral, release, and release, release, and release, release. So we're stepping 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the pelvis is going release, neutral, release, neutral, release, neutral, release, neutral. So the pelvis is going every single beat, but our feet are only doing 3 out of every 4 beats. So again, 1, 2, 3, and neutral, 1, 2, 3. Good. Release and release, neutral, release, and release. And again, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Great, let's try that one more time. Going forwards, whichever leg you want to start with. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good, staying in releve, lifting the heels. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And from here, let's take it back. Do that pelvic tuck going back. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Switching diagonals. Tuck, neutral, tuck. Neutral as we switch diagonals. Tuck, neutral, tuck, neutral, tuck, neutral, tuck, neutral. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Stepping back, forwards, back, turning back, forwards, back, turning back, forwards, back, back, forwards, back. Let's try that one more time, going back. 5, 6, 7, 8. Back, forwards, back, back, forwards, back, back, forwards, back, and back. Good. Pelvis tucks and tucks and tuck and tuck, tuck and tuck. Good. Let's do the release. Release, 2, 3. Release, 2, 3. Release, 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 and back, 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 with the tuck, don't forget, back, good. Let's try that one more time. Let's start, if you're mirroring me, let's start on your left leg, on the left diagonal, with those releases coming forward and the pelvic tucks coming back. 5, 6, 7, 8. Release and release and release and release. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's take it back. Tuck and tuck. Tuck, nice and sharp. Back, 2, 3, and back. Pelvic tuck and back. Great job. So that's a fun way to combine those two moves. Again, this is the release and this is the tuck. I tend to use the tuck a little bit more, but they both are a lot of fun. So I hope that you enjoyed those movements. I hope that this video was helpful for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.